Good afternoon. I just want to show you quickly in James how you reconcile the. See, without breaking and reconcile. James is saying, Paul says he wasn't justified before God, whereof he had to boast. He wasn't justified by works. He wasn't justified by works. He was justified. He wasn't justified by works. James is saying he was justified by works. So then, this is a simplistic, stupid interpretation that these guys have. So go to James 2:21, and James here. Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar? Yes. Seest thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect? Yeah, maturity. See, Ruckmanites want to tell you that in the Old Testament their faith had to be made perfect. Well, it was by Lot's faith wasn't made perfect. This is maturity. And the scripture was fulfilled, which saith, Abraham believed God, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness. That happened back in Genesis 15. You notice the semicolon. What was it, colon? What is it, 2 dots? Now, we dispensationalists, what do we say? There can be gaps. We say all the time, we go back to Luke 4 and Isaiah 61. Verse 1 and 2, you see the gap in the commas and gaps in semicolons. There's gaps. There's a gap here. When you become a friend of God? When he did this with Isaac. And he was called the friend of God. That was maturity. So between his faith in Genesis 15, we saw him sinning after that, people. We saw him saying his sister was a half-sister. Esau was his sister. And he was, hiding and, worried about getting killed. But he matured. And that little colon there, shows a time gap between the two. These idiots can't figure that out. Supposed to be dispensationalists. That's one of the things we always talk about in dispensations, how commas and punctuation can separate time periods. There you have a time period where he was saved. Paul talks about him being justified without works, his salvation, imputation of God's righteousness, and then friend of God in James. Not too complicated. Quaker's up there, Kim's up there. Where's read what it says? He doesn't reconcile the contradiction. He doesn't reconcile the apparent contradiction. He doesn't say anything about Paul. And then I put up a video talking about Paul. I mean, what he was doing in his exposition on Romans 4, and how he misread the entire passage. Didn't even deal with David. I'm not going to argue about it. And then I got guys coming through. What's the big deal? What's the big deal? They're taking 2/3 of the Bible and corrupting it. That was Ruckman's plan. Ruckman's plan is the idea, well, I can't figure out 2/3 of the Bible, so we'll throw that out in order to save 1/3. We'll say God can save people by works in 2/3 of the Bible. So, and this is Kim's idea. Well, we can reach the cults this way by saying we just ignore that. That was faith works in the Old Testament. So you can lie about what the Old Testament salvation was. And that's okay with you guys. Well, as long as they believe in faith alone in this dispensation, no, I'm not going to lie about God in any dispensation. It might be okay with you guys, but it's not okay with me. God doesn't deal with people that way. He doesn't deal with mankind with that. He doesn't accept works in any dispensation for salvation. Their works show their faith. And these arrogant, puffed up egomaniacs, they need to be exposed for what they are. Frauds, liars, deceivers. So don't write to me and say, oh, what does it matter? It matters because it's an attack on God's character. Because that's what Paul said. We have to boast. You have a right to boast before God. If it was works. That's why Romans 4, without works. He doesn't reconcile it. He ignores it. And the whole idea is that's the point. That's the problem. I'm just going to be what it says. Well, he's supposed to interpret the scriptures and harmonize the scriptures. That's what Bible teachers do. So I'll stop and put this up. Amen. Thank you.